6 weeks, it's gone quickly. Seems like a leisure as the other day.
I first took a complete week off, something I never done in the past.
I think the stages this year have been some of the best we've had in a while.
The level of the competition was even higher than it used to be the last few years.
No one's coming to these races to come second.
As long as I'm every year improving, that's all I can ask for.
I'd love to win one of these again.
A little bit upset I couldn't win any race.
Been on the podium at almost every race.
I'm super proud with how I've been riding.
My best season yet.
It's been really good, leading the series, going into the finals.
I have a number 1 on my plate.
I'm the one chasing, so I just got to give it everything.
Last opportunity to win.
Quite a lot of pressure.
I have nothing to lose, actually. I have everything to win.
There's quite a lot riding on this for the overall podium.
I'm hoping this weekend is the weekend.
Welcome to our 6th and final round of our 2024 UCI Enduro and E-enduro World Cup Series. We're here in Loudenvielle, Périgueux in France for a spectacular venue that will provide some amazing racing for our athletes. The overall titles are on the line here for our men and women, and with the unpredictable nature of the weather, anything can happen on these slippery and technical trails. It's going to be an epic course. Let's go and check it out right now. Our 6th and final course here in Loudenvielle, Périgueux rounds out our 2024 UCI Enduro World Cup season. A shuttle to pedal liaison arrives riders to stage 1. A mix of everything Loudenvielle has to offer. Exposed alpine, slippery, loamy woods will be a treat for riders as they tackle the day. A liaison pedal to stage 2 arrives to Nabius, a technical and steep stage that will surely test everything our riders have. Due to high winds and extreme weather, Stage 3 was cancelled in our course here today, which will shorten our riders' day and put extra emphasis on the other 4 stages. Riders will instead catch a gondola and then a liaison to Stage 4, our steepest stage of the day and our shortest. A pedal liaison arrives our riders to Stage 5, our 4th and final stage to wrap up our 2024 UCI Enduro World Cup season. 4 stages is on offer for our riders for the 6th and final round of the season. A mix of pedal and gondola liaisons will test them to wrap up the 2024 UCI Enduro World Cup Series. Athletes rolled out of the start to begin a huge day of racing. The moody Pyrenees mountains awaited. With the overall title still up for grabs in both elite categories, this race would be one for the ages. The overnight rain unrelented and poured down onto the already slippery stages, which will test our athletes and push them to their limits. Stage 1 would be a hunt for grip. Ella, what's the main change you've done today for the rain?
Definitely tyres. It's going to be a big mudder out there, so it's a really, really important choice.
Charlie, what tyre pressure? Lower?
Yeah, slightly low, like 22, 24. So 1 down from usual.
What's Morgan got? Morgan's got that open Argotol tyre on there.
Yeah, I think the combo with these tires and a flat pedal, it's pretty fun for me, and yeah, I'm excited.
Argotels, peak extender, wearing a jacket, that's about it.
Isabeau's got a pretty open tread pattern on the front and the rear there, so that's really going to help out in those big slippery corners and all that braking. Shah starts the day in an unfamiliar position. She seemed to struggle in the conditions and takes a 5th place on stage 1 ahead of fellow Frenchwoman Melanie Poujan in 4th. Couturier, fired up with motivation with the title fight, comes home in 3rd. Never to be counted out from the fight, Ella Connolly impresses and finishes the stage in 2nd. But Harnden bought the battle from the get-go and takes the first stage win with an emphatic victory. Couturier would have some time to find as she sits 17 seconds behind in 3rd place. Harnden takes a commanding lead with over 5 seconds from Connolly. Frenchwomen Morgan Shah and Melanie Poujan round out the top 5 with a 4th and 5th on stage 1. Title contenders Sławomir Łukasik and Charlie Murray placed 7th and 11th respectively and struggled with the stage 1 conditions. Alex Rudeau would be looking to repeat his success here from 2022 as he takes 3rd place on stage 1. Richie Rude starts his championship campaign and comes home in 2nd. Greg Callahan takes his first stage win in a UCI Enduro World Cup and dominates with over 8 seconds from Richie Rude. The treacherous conditions are providing a mix-up in the men's field with Ireland's Greg Callahan leading the charge by over 8 seconds in 1st. Richie Rude and Alex Rudeau are just 0.4 of a second apart, and Martin Mays starts the day in 5th.
Oh, that's mint. Honestly, I wish we could do that every week. I love it.
Bit of a wild start, you went down.
I went down like straight at the start, and I don't know why, I just clipped a rock with my pedal and went over the bar.
After the carnage of stage 1, stage 2 would only get worse. Riders took to the bike wash to clean what mud they could off their bikes before they would drop in to the hardest and most technical stage they have ever raced. The hectic conditions would claim our championship favourite. Isabeau Corduria suffers in the mud and comes home with a 12th place, 2.5 minutes behind. Championship contender Harnden would capitalise on Isabeau's misfortune and come home in 5th place. Specialised Estelle Charles smashes into the top 5 with a 4th. Connolly keeps her name in the fight, taking 3rd on the notorious Nabius. Morgan Shan found the fire and takes 2nd place, but it was Melanie Poujan to take the stage 2 victory by almost 16 seconds. After losing almost 2.5 minutes, Isabeau now sits in 11th place. The overall title of 2024 slips out of her grasp. Hattie, now seeing the light of the season overall within reach, is now in 4th. Ella stays in contention for a podium finish as she is 30 seconds back in 3rd. Shah makes up for lost time on stage 1 and is now 2nd place behind fellow Frenchwoman Melanie Poujan, who works her way up from 4th and now leads the race. Callahan, fired up from his first stage win, takes 3rd place and maintains his great form in the mud. Yet to find the pace for a stage win, Rude holds on to 2nd, knowing that the first 2 stages of the day were crucial to his championship defence. Martin Mays would win stage 2 of the day and making the most of his flat pedal decision and full mud tyres. Wukasik and Murray sit on the exact same second in 6th. Rudeau drops to 8th with a 24-second deficit. Mays takes the lead from Callahan, who now sits just 0.6 of a second behind. Championship Series leader Richie Rude now sits in 3rd.
It was really tough, super sticky, and then just kept on getting like ejected. Like you had a bit of confidence and then you just got ejected over the side of like an edge, and I don't know, it was quite funny. I got to the bottom and Ella just said she could hear me screaming all the way down.
It was wild. You were sliding but trying to stay in, the tire width right. And yeah, sometimes I just had to take a foot out and like try and let the bike roll. You don't feel like you're racing sometimes, you're trying to like survive.
After a lengthy break in the Taz zone, riders would tackle stage 3, the steepest stage of the day. After dominating stage 2, Melanie Poujan slides to 7th with Ella Connolly in 6th. The retiring Noga Karim claims 5th place on stage 3. Hattie Harnden claims 4th, and it was an all-French top 3 for stage 3. Estelle Charles taking to the wet and wild conditions, finishing in 3rd, followed by Morgan Shah in 2nd. With the overall title looming, Corduria would fight back after the devastation of stage 2. With a fire in her belly, she claims the penultimate stage win to put her right back in this title fight. Before the final stage of the day, the women's overall saw little movement. Despite the struggles on stage 3, Poujan leads over fellow Frenchwoman Morgan Shah just 8.5 seconds back. The UK duo of Connolly and Harnden sit in 3rd and 4th, just 5 seconds apart. The battle for the overall title remains between Corduria and Harnden. After the drama of stage 2, the fight would be taken to the final stage of the day. Greg Callahan slides back to 5th on stage 3. Richie Rude puts one hand on the overall title with a 3rd place on stage 3, but it was Australia's Dan Booker making his return and finishes the slippery stage in an impressive 2nd place. Martin Mays takes his 2nd stage win of the day and starts to flirt with the idea of winning for the first time since 2021. With 2-stage win, Mays sits comfortably with a 9-second lead ahead of Callahan. Rude, now 14 seconds back in 3rd, is well ahead of overall contenders Sławomir Wukasik and Charlie Murray in 13th and 8th. The overall battle for the final spot on the podium is now wide open, with Alex Rudeau, who also sits in 5th place before the final stage decider. After over 10 years of racing, the legend Isabeau Corduria announced her retirement earlier this year. Join us after the break as we chat to her about her amazing career and the legacy she leaves behind in Enduro.
get another clap, please. Take two, and row.
My name is Isabelle Courdurier. I'm riding for the La Pierre Zip Collective. I'm 30 years old. I forgot about this one.
Courageous,
savage,
determined, smart,
Kind, fast,
funny,
and competitive.
she's one of the good ones.
My first EWS was actually the first ever EWS back in Punta Ala in Italy in 2013. I remember I was super afraid of it because it was the longest raid I would have ever done. There were so many legends around me and I was just, like taking everything in, all of the advice. And I just remember like finishing this massive race, which was super difficult, and thinking, wow, this is super cool, I want to do more of it.
So I think I met Isabelle, I was still racing downhill, and she was already racing enduro, and it was just starting the Enduro World Series. I remember we went for dinner in Annecy, like all together with some friends, and I was like, yeah, she's like pretty badass, she's cool.
she just loves bikes, loves life, and super funny girl. Like easy to talk, with a vision of the life, like just like perfect.
I started racing when I was 6 years old and I was fully committed to it until I was 17. And I think I was 18 when I first did a few enduro, like local races. My first event was actually the Tribe 10,000 in France, in Val d'Alos, which was very famous in enduro back then. And the year after, the Enduro World Series started, and I was like, yeah, like why not? Like giving it a try. I want to be a part of it. But I actually ended up going to all of the European rounds I could afford with my dad supporting me as my mechanic. So it was a complete mess. We were doing everything on our own like we could, but I had so many awesome memories from this year.
Isabelle's a fierce competitor. She's won so many races, and like you can always count on her for a good race or like to give her absolute best on the day. So she's a really like exciting person to race with.
She's like really determined. Like she gives more than 100% every time, and she has just one goal, and she's full focus and determined.
She just lets her riding do the talking, and I think it's always super impressive when you just get out there and do it, and she's always someone to look up to for sure.
I think enduro has really go through a lot of different stages throughout its progression, and I felt like at the beginning it was truly about like being self-sufficient. We were going out with full backpacks with everything in it, and then it has moved slowly to a more like professional format where we were racing like some shorter stage and stuff like that. And I think, it has gone through a lot of stages, but what I feel like is still part of the process is the trails. We are still riding some the most amazing trails. Let's go! We had some fresh tracks in Combloux, and this is for me the footprint and the ADN of enduro, and I think it's truly important that we keep this in the coming year, because this is what separates us from downhill and from the other disciplines, and I think it's very important to keep this. The season I really think is a best example of what is my dedication into my career is 2021. And with the La Pierre Zip Collective, because that's where I truly felt enduro is a community and my team is a family. They really helped me so much to process the loss of my father, and there was so many emotions into this racing. And at the end of the season, I still got third into the overall thanks to them and the support. And I truly felt the love that there is into this community on this season. So I won't say it's one of my best, obviously, but it's one of the ones that matters the most into my career.
So it's gonna be a lot different next year. And Isabelle, she's like the queen of enduro. She's like the image of enduro right now. So it's gonna be really different. We're gonna miss her for sure, but I could see her coming back the year after. So we'll see. I think she's not totally done yet.
There are things you can plan, there are things you cannot. Like maybe I will have a family next year, maybe it will take me 10 years. Like you have no clue about this, you never know. Like each path is different. But I would say that if I can, I will. And I think that's the best I can say so far. If I have the physical possibility, if mentally I want to do it, then I will. But if none of it is possible, I won't push, because I think I want to respect me first. And I think as soon as you start pushing things and it's not natural, like I will do a terrible race and there is no point. So if everything is aligned in the future, then why not? But it's again about, for me, respecting who I am, my values, and sticking to my priorities.
The 2024 overall title fight was Harnden's to lose, but Couturier would not go down without a fight and rely on her never give up attitude and grit to take it to the line.
It's been tough, and I never had a lot of mechanicals in the past, and obviously I did not want it to happen today, but it is what it is, and it's part of racing, and it just shows how tough it is to actually be successful on such a long-term period.
I'm feeling pretty good. It looks a lot less sticky than the other ones, so should be a good one to finish on, and it started raining again, so should be good.
Kind of attack it quite a bit, try to gauge the conditions at the start and then see what we can do.
Keep doing what I did the past few stages, it's been working well. I stayed on the bike, so hopefully I can stay on and cross the finish line in one piece at the bottom.
Basically just have to get down the hill, and yeah, it should be enough for the overall, but I might push it a little bit, but yeah.
I've been loving it. It's been a while I've been wanting a wet race because it's just familiar to me, honestly. Last stage, just keep her lit, really. I've got Richie breathing down my neck, and it's not really the fella you want doing that.
The final stage of the final UCI Enduro World Cup of 2024 awaited. Current leader of the race, Melanie Pujan, finishes the final stage, hungry for more, in 6th, with Noga Karim wrapping up her career with a 4th on stage 4. Morgan Shah, cheered on by the French fans, bracing the wild weather, takes 3rd place. The final stage of the day goes to Cannondale's Ella Connolly, as the final stage would not only determine the winner of the race, but the overall title as well. Couturier put down a heater and claims 5th place on the stage. She would have to hope it would be enough to best Harriet Harnden. Harnden drops in with the weight of the title looming. She crosses the line and takes 2nd, and with it, she claims the 2024 UCI Enduro World Cup overall title. And the results are in for the finale of the UCI Enduro World Cup here in Loudenvielle, Périgueux. Ella Connolly holds on to 3rd place and walks away with a bronze medal. Melanie Pujan would drop to 2nd place for her first 2024 podium. It would be Frenchwoman Morgan Shah making up an 8-second deficit from Pujan to claim her 2nd race win of the season.
I try to push as much as I can, I really fight for it, but I was also okay, I really want to win, but if Melanie gets it, I'm also so happy for her. So I was okay, whatever happens, we'll be happy, and so happy to get the win.
After a turbulent and nail-biting race spectacle, Isabeau Couturier could not beat Hattie Harnden's performance, and she would have to settle for 2nd place. With 2 race wins this season to her name, Trek Factory Racing's Harriet Harnden would bank on her consistency and takes home her first ever UCI Enduro World Cup overall title.
I finally cracked it, so yeah, beat Isabeau is insane, she's unstoppable, so yeah, pretty special.
As the 2024 overall title was wrapped up in the women's category in spectacular fashion, the men's race was Rude's for the taking. Could he hold it together for the final stage? With the race win still in contention, Rude would have Martin Mays and Greg Callahan to answer to. The pressure would be too much for Greg Callahan as he slides back to 10th on the final stage. Charlie Murray, determined to defend his overall podium place, would put everything into it and claims 5th. With his eyes set firmly on the overall title, Richie Rude would come home in 3rd of the final stage. Martin Mays, fueled by memories of his podium place in Finale Ligure earlier in the year, smashes down the stage to claim 2nd. But it was the Frenchman Alex Rudeau returning to the stage victory circle with an emphatic win in the final stage. After claiming an exciting stage victory on the final stage, Rudeau would slide into 4th place, 27 seconds back. Despite letting 2nd place slip from his grasps, Greg Callahan would claim his first podium since 2017 with a 3rd overall. Richie Rude would just beat Greg to take 2nd place after claiming the lead after his Stage 2 victory. It would be Martin Mays holding on to it to the final stage to claim victory here at the final round of the UCI Enduro World Cup season.
I don't know, I had a funny feeling when I woke up this morning. I was like, today I can do it, you know. It's the end of an area, I think, for Bea and for myself. The day went perfect. I didn't taste the ground once, and I just rode the best I could, and yeah, I'm super happy.
After an impressive season-long battle, the Yeti Fox Factory duo would finish with Richie Rude emerging victorious with another overall title. Despite a challenging race here in Loudenvielle, Périgueux, both Sławomir Łukasik and Charlie Murray would keep their podium spots, finishing 2nd and 3rd respectively overall.
The track was like a river the whole way down, and I was just like really feeling it, and I was going for it, and I was having a great time. And yeah, to get 2nd place feels pretty good, especially with the overall this weekend. And I don't know, just wanted to have fun and still ride fast, and yeah, stoked on the result.
What a way to wrap up our 2024 UCI Enduro World Cup season. Our 2 champions, Richie Rude, Harriet Harnden, they had to fight for it until the very last stage of the season. Congratulations to you both. It was a spectacular way to finish the series and the day here in the Pyrenees of France. The season's not over. We've got one more race to go, the UCI Enduro World Championships in Canazei next week. Stay tuned as we crown our very first ever Enduro World Champions.